Hi, Masterpiece friends. It's Vicki Schauhorn with Masterpiece Podcast. Today, we're going to talk a lot about our uniqueness and the unique design that God has created you to be. Now, last time we talked together, we spoke about focusing on who we want to become more so than what we want to become in this life. Now, it's important to know what career choice you want because you've got to put your investment in your education, your learning your skills, your trade that you want to pursue, all important. But it's more important that you focus on who you want to become because that is where you're going to make the greatest impact. So stay tuned. We're going to dig in and go a little bit deeper than our last message. Masterpiece friends, I hope you know just how special you are. You were uniquely designed by a creator. There is no one else out there like you. God fearfully and wonderfully created you. Psalms 139:14 tells us you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You know, the Lord spoke the world into existence. He said, "Let there be light." There was light. But He knit you together in your mother's womb. He spent the time, the attention, the detail to create you into the unique individual that you are. I love to think about the billions of people that God has created. And I love to think about how they are all uniquely different. They all have different looks, different personalities, different skills, different talents, different gifts in this world, and a different plan that He has given them. I love to think about how God has given you a plan that is different than everyone else, that no other individual could fulfill, because you are the one equipped. You are the one empowered with the skills, the talents, the gifts that He has embedded, entrusted to you that are needed to fulfill that specific plan. Have you ever thought about that? You are created for a purpose, a plan that He has designed for you and your unique attributes. Now, we all know that our identity comes from Christ, right? Our identity comes from Christ. God does not make junk, right? We are uniquely designed, and our identity, our plan, and our purpose for our life are unique to Him as well. In this, we know that we are created in the image of God, right? We are created in the image of God, and it's important that we understand that is our plan. That is our design. Now, in Scripture, it talks about us being created in His image. And it says when He made us in His image, or what we might call a reflection of Himself, right? Now, we're different than any other of God's creations. If you think about the animals, we're unique. We're different, right? The mountains, we are not created like the mountains. We are unique. We are different. God created man in His image. He created woman in His image. And He gave life, and He is the only one that can give life to people, right? To give life in this world. He gave us our breath because He desired relationship with you. He desired relationship with me. And so He set us apart. He created us different than any other creation that He created when He created the world. We alone are made like Him. You know, when we look in a mirror, we see a reflection of our physical appearance, right? But when we go out and show His nature, we are showing the image that is reflected on the inside, right? When we go out and we love others the way Christ loved us, and we live in the image of God, we're showing the reflection from our inside. which is more important. That's what we talked about last message when we talked about who we become is more important than what we become. What are those character traits that God has that we want to reflect so others can see Christ through us? That is what he desires for us, to be his messengers, to be his vessels of his love flowing through us to all of his creation. Now, when we think about others and we think about reflecting God's love, others get to see part of God's character through us. So how important it is to understand the character of God, to understand who he is, the magnitude of who he is, and what he wants us to reflect. So I want to encourage you all, I want to challenge you all to write a list of all the attributes of God. Think about it. Spend time on it. Write on a note card all the attributes of God that make him who he is. And then think about being the image bearer of what God is and who he is for others. And imitate God by showing that love, reflecting that love to all of those around us. When I think about God, I think about his love, his kindness, his gentleness, the peace that he gives us, his mercy that he gives us, the forgiveness, how quick he is to forgive us, how caring he is, compassionate he is. Think upon those things and focus on how you can be a reflection of that to his world. I also want to encourage you to take some time understanding your uniqueness and the gifts that he has given you and you alone, that he's entrusted to you. Make a list on another note card of all the attributes that make you uniquely you. What are the talents that you have, the gifts you have, the abilities you have that nobody else has quite like you? Write those attributes down. Give God the praise for doing that, for creating you in his image and giving you those traits to carry out and to live out as an image bearer of him. I want us to focus on becoming more Christ-like and being more intentional in every encounter that we have. No matter who they are, we know that God's love has no bounds, right? It's unconditional, right? He does not withhold his love. He lavishes his love on all of us. And we're to go out and do the same with all of those that he places on our path. Whether they're kind, whether they're gentle, whether they're patient, we are to remain as image bearers set apart from the rest of the world so others can see the reflection of God through us. Go out and be a difference maker. Go out and be an imitator of God and showing that love, lavishing that love on all of those that God has placed in your path. I love you all, and I hope you have a wonderful week.